so I'm going to show you some ways of getting started with the buggy. Here we've got the learning hub and the breakout circuit build and buggy chassis. Here you've got the data sheet, which I've created. On the data sheet, you've got something about the L298 motor driver. Now, pay particular attention to the Arduino pins, D12, D13 and D11. D12 enables the motor to operate and 13 and 11 make the motor go back and forth. So just moving over to the PCB, I've got a buggy upside down and I've got these wires connected to the DC motor on the buggy. I've also got the servo motor, but I'll come to that in a moment. So what I'm going to do is show you, first of all, using flow code. So to use flow code, we can use the test motor flow code, which is there. I'm just going to move over to the flow code bit here. What you'll see in the flow code is, remember, D12 enables the motor. So D12 enables the motor here, and then this is a loop. So D13 high, D11 low will make the motor move in one direction for half a second, and then it's the opposite way around. Sorry, it's not the opposite way around, they're both low, so it makes the motor stop for half a second, and then these are the opposite way around, so D13 is low and D11 is high, so it would make the motor reverse for half a second, and then just scroll down, it will make the motor stop for half a second, and then it goes around the loop. So what I'm going to do now is just to build, compile to the target. So you might remember electronic control systems where we did all this. I'm not going to go through this again. However, I have put some of the old code from electronic control systems, which I'll just show you on the hub. Hub is here, and I have a folder here, Flow Code Labs from ECS, just to remind you if you wanted to go through those, but this is entirely up to you to go back through. So if I turn on the power here, there we go, going one way for half a second, going the other way for half a second. So that's the first one, just to test out the drive motors. Next bit I'm going to show you is the servo motors for the steer. So this is the servo motor. Mine is completely broken, but you can still see it working. And it is connected to this board this way. So you'll have to put 3 pins there. Remember that the signal, where it's labelled SIG, goes to the yellow or the white. The black one or the brown one is on the opposite side. That's ground. That's plus volts in the middle, and then your signal is the yellow one. Now this is connected to pin D10. So put this on the data sheet. I'll tell you a little bit more about servo motors here, and it's connected to pin D10 of the Arduino. So what I'm going to show you now is the flow code program. I'll just show you where it is. So we have test motor flow code, that was a DC motor. Now we've got test servo motor flow code, which is the next one down. So you can download that, and I will just open that for us, which is test servo motor there. Okay, just open that up. So what I've got is it initializes the servo motor, it enables it, and then it sets it to position 90 degrees, and then for 1 second it waits there, then it sets it to position 130 degrees and waits, and it goes round a loop. Not particularly useful, but hopefully you should see it moving the servo motor just one way and the other, so at least you know. And then this will be up to you to find out what angles you need to make the buggy go straight and to turn left. So I've downloaded that over to the buggy. Remember, we've got the servo motor. The servo motor needs the main power to drive it, and not very exciting because we've got a broken buggy, okay? But hopefully you don't have a broken buggy. So if that was connected to the steer, it's not going to turn it very much, but it shows that the servo motor will actually work. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Okay, next bit is using the Arduino. So what I will do is show you how to do all of this using the Arduino programming language, which is the C programming language. So we've got 2 examples using flow code and flow code. If you wanted to use it using the Arduino, which is C language, you can simply open this, you can copy and paste that. So you can see the C language. You can see that it's using the 3 pins, 11, 12 and 13, and it will use the command digital write to make the pins high and low. So I've just copied that onto the clipboard, and I'm just going to open up Arduino IDE. Free to download. What I'm going to do is just paste that code exactly as it is into the Arduino IDE when it gets there. Takes its time. Come on. I end up opening 2 instances at this rate. There we go. Okay, so don't update anything. You can always start off with a new sketch. I'm just going to highlight everything, delete it, and then paste my code in there. You'll have hopefully gone through connecting the Arduino Uno to these ports, so you might need to go on to Tools and define which port it is. It'll be a high number, and then you often need to tell it it's an Arduino Uno on the board, so you need to select that through the board manager. I've done that previously, so it makes life a bit quicker. I'm just going to upload that to the Arduino, so it should compile. It's done compiling, and now it's done uploading. So if I just go back to the circuit, this again is going to move the motors one way and the other. A bit longer, one direction for 1 second, and then the other direction for 1 second. Switch that off. Notice I've got the buggy upside down, so it's always a good idea to do this when you're not holding the buggy, for example. Just going back to the Learning Hub, there is test motor Arduino code. So let's have a look at this one. Now I've opened this. It might actually open up in the Arduino language. I don't know why the previous one didn't. If it comes up with a question saying it needs to be within a sketch folder, just OK that, because it'll create a folder. And this is essentially, when I did copy and paste before, for some reason it's opened it as an Arduino INO file, but it's just the way it's gone about it. Okay, this is the C code, includes servo, attaches it to pin 10, as you saw in the data sheet, and then it writes the servo motor to go to 90 degrees, waits 1 second, and then to 130 degrees, and waits 1 second. Now, we've just got this selecting the board, so you will see how I find the Arduino Uno. So before it was already selected, and these things are sent to triers. So I'll just do that. So it's an Arduino Uno, and I just check the port, it's COM7, like that. Yours will be a different COM port number if you're using this Arduino C, by the way. Done compiling, done uploading, so go back to the circuit, switch it on, and remember it's going between 90 and 130 degrees, so it's moving the servo motor, which, when it's connected to the steer, it should be moving the steer. So, there you go. 2 examples, one using flow code and one using C. And what I'll show you in the next video is how we can create C code from another method, which is using Scratch. Remember we used Tinkercad? We have another method which I can show you the link to as well. Thank you.